So I work for Hugh in the corporate affairs team here at Microsoft. So firstly, I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming along today. We're delighted to host the conference. And Hugh's asked me to sort of like come and speak and just hopefully give you a bit of sort of stimulus for your session today. So I'm going to start with a question in terms of what sort of technological world are we actually living in today? We all know that it's changing, and it's changing sort of faster than it's ever changed before. And as innovators and educators, perhaps the key thing for us is not the speed of change, but the direction. Where are we heading? What kind of world do we need to be preparing our businesses, our workers, schools, students to face in the next 5 or 10 years? So I just wanted to start there and really have a look at sort of like those technological changes that we see in the world. So we see 4 megatrends. The first one being social, the way in which people communicate, share and access information, not just to have fun, but as a core part of the business process. And as technology becomes more immersive, we expect it to help us to develop more personal and social connections with colleagues and constituents. And then there's cloud, the ability to access information from anywhere at any time, when and how you choose to access, harness and deliver it back to the user. And the connectivity the cloud is offering is changing what we expect from technology. With an always-on connection, apps that can provide innovative new services, instant scalability, and attractive economics. And then there's mobility, which is making devices smaller, more versatile, wearable in terms of fitness trackers, embedded in our clothes, which I think Google was sort of showcasing the other week, jewellery, toys, tools, just about everything. And this proliferation of new device types, along with the connectivity to the cloud, is making us more mobile and changing the way that we work and play. And just quickly, I don't know if you saw, it was featured in the news last week with some research that we'd done, and it was actually the main headline was talking about the attention span of humans. Gone down from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, where goldfish are 9 seconds. So, and that's the thing that got picked up, which is quite interesting in itself. But this was just part of the research, it's actually from Microsoft in Canada. But it's just fascinating, both in terms of you have a look at that, just in terms of particularly how young people are actually sort of using mobile devices. And then also, interestingly, that whole difference that Rachel will know well from sort of like the older people in terms of sort of like their lack of devices. But just the pervasiveness of mobile is just amazing. And then the last one is about the Internet of Things and big data. You often hear it referred to as your fridge being able to talk or chat away to your boiler or some such thing. But what the Internet of Things really is tiny sensors that are becoming so cheap now that they are beginning to be placed everywhere. Talk of supermarkets having every product on the supermarket shelf having some form of sensor in it in the future. And these are being placed everywhere and collecting data which can then be analysed. And I don't know, who used one of these today? On the way here. Yeah? So this is an example of the Internet of Things, believe it or not. So London Transport are actually putting sensors into all their escalators and in all their lifts, so they can look at how they're working, how the bearings in them, how the sort of like the flights of steps, etc., all working. And the whole idea for them is to sort of move away from what you experience at the moment, which is the escalator breaks, then suddenly they've got to get someone in to fix it. It's during peak time and everyone gets messed up, or they have to sort of like have it working for a number of years and then close it for 3 months and everyone has to pack into one escalator rather than 2. And what they're using it for is to actually sort of like to look at how different parts in the escalator are working and to understand when something is likely to go wrong, so they can actually schedule maintenance around it. So firstly, to sort of like, in a way, stop it breaking before it breaks, but also making sure that when they do the maintenance, they can schedule it around the way that people travel to make a better customer experience. And the really interesting thing they're doing is they're actually bringing in other open data sources in terms of things like the weather, because they know when it rains, more people use escalators in the underground. So actually that's quite important. And also big events. So if they know there's a big football match going on, they're not going to sort of like, they're going to make sure they schedule the maintenance before that, because they know they're getting more footfall for it as well. They're being quite smart. And the interesting thing about the Internet of Things and what people like London Underground are using, which we don't even sort of see, is how much data it's going to generate. So you imagine how many escalators London Underground have. I have no idea. But I can tell you it's obviously a lot. How many steps are there on each escalator? How many bearings are there in sort of like each step of that escalator that you're managing? So we get to this point where we're driving massive amounts of data. And we're now getting to the stage where we're actually measuring data in exabytes, which an exabyte is 1 billion gigabytes, and it's growing all the time. And a really important thing for all of us in this room today isn't that quite interesting that London Transport are more intelligent than we thought they were about how they do their maintenance. It's about the fact this is going to drive a whole range of new jobs which are going to be required to extract the value from this big data. And you'll have noticed by now, the information is a word that crops up in all these megatrends. We need to be equipping people for a world where almost everything electronic will need programming and rely on the capability to collect, process, store, or harness data. But this isn't going to be confined to people like Microsoft in the tech sector. The digitisation of the economy is taking place in every sector. One of the challenges the Department for Business had in creating an industrial strategy for the information economy was that increasingly every business is part of the information economy. And it's often referred to as every company is now a software company, or every company is a technology company. And if you're a manager of McDonald's, you have to understand that. You're stock ordering, you're doing staff rotary, pay slips, everything is online. You're expected to be a digital native, whether you're working on the high street, whether you're working in manufacturing, engineering, the service economy, teaching, everything. Which means that to extract value from any of this future technology and industrial potential, we're going to need to invest in digital skills. Some existing, but some brand new, but all crucial to our future as an economy and as a society. From the existing skill sets, we're obviously going to need more programmers, data analysts, system architects. There are 10 times as many vacancies in fast-growing sectors like media, publishing and finance that need computer science expertise, yet fewer than 4,000 students even take a computer science A-level. But developing all new skills is even harder. We're going to need experts in big data, biometrics, machine learning. Come to think of it, we're going to need people just to think up names for all that extra data. What comes after exabytes and petabytes? So where are we going to find all these new experts? The digital economy in the UK is very strong. Our schools teach our children to challenge, to think. Our education system includes subjects like art and music, which teach them to be creative and to think laterally. All useful skills, if they grow up to be games developers, inventors, entrepreneurs, people who challenge preconceptions and generate new and existing ideas. But there is no doubt that we do face a serious skills challenge. China produces 40 computer science graduates every day. Poland produces 4. The UK, less than 1. In the software industry alone, there are 20,000 graduate vacancies a year and only 7,500 computer science graduates to fill them. So we clearly need to do more, and we need to start right now. In some respects, I'm pleased to say, we have. And this is just a graph, actually, from the US, but just aims to show just what degrees people are taking and then what jobs are actually available at the end of it. So if you have a look at the green column at the end, that is the annual jobs for using those degrees. So you can sort of see in terms of computer science, far too few people taking degrees for the jobs that are available. In other areas, far more people taking degrees than there's going to be jobs for at the end of it. And that's why at Microsoft we work so closely with the Department of Education to get computer science added to the national curriculum, which is referred to by Lord Lucas. And it's also why we helped found Computing at School, or CAS, which did so much to drive policy reform to make it possible. And as a result, today every child aged 5+ gets a basic grounding in the kind of digital skills that will shape their future lives and careers. And we're continuing to support it through our links to 20,000 teachers and Quick Start, which is a free CBD toolkit that's been downloaded over 50,000 times since its launch in January. And it means for the first time, not only does every pupil have the opportunity to start acquiring digital skills, but every teacher has the tools to teach them. In terms of Lord Lucas, your point earlier about coding, I think my point would be that I think coding is often talked about more than anything else. I should say we actually have a very good balanced curriculum in terms of getting people to think more analytically, and actually in terms of basic understanding of premises like internet security, in terms of IP as well. But it's the coding I think gets talked about or focused on rather than some of the other aspects of it. And it's also why we're so proud of our Microsoft Partner Apprenticeship Programme, which again Lord Lucas has very kindly referred to. And that's helped kickstart the technology careers of over 7,000 level 3 apprentices in just 5 years. And then we're doing 4,000 a year now. And this is very recent, this is only from last week, or 2 weeks ago, where we crowned our first female apprentice of the year, 19-year-old Tanya Stickle, which is such an inspiration for us all in the industry that still struggles to get women into STEM subjects and into careers. But I think Lord Lucas again had a really interesting point there about how can apprentices be help older generations as well as just the young generations. And we're very interested both in terms of that as well as whether we can take it into level 4 apprentices and also how we help people who haven't got the basic skills or qualifications to actually get into apprentices in the first time. So we see it very much as a good start. Far more work is needed moving forward. And it'd be wrong to come and speak to this conference and not to talk about just talk about the importance of young people. Rachel, I know, will focus far more on this in her talk, but through things like our digital literacy curriculum, we've helped to create a ladder by which everyone of any age and any ability can find a way to engage in the digital world. So in summary, and in fact judging by the proposals in the NIACE Summer Budget 2015, I'm reassured that part of the solution is going to be driven by the people in this room. Whether we're talking about improving education, training and employment, improving employment outcomes, or having the disability employment gap, they're all recommendations that go to the heart of where we need to be heading to achieve the potential of a truly technological future. We need to connect continuing adult education with the new digital reality and the need to increase the productivity of the nation. The priority for older workers is not just about digital inclusion anymore, it's also about raising the base line of digital skills in line with increasing workplace requirements, the continuous reskilling to keep current, and providing them with the same opportunity to learn about the digital world around us that we're providing to school children. If we're going to ensure the pace of technology doesn't leave anyone behind and is able to enfranchise everyone, then everyone in this room is going to be a part of the solution. Thank you for your time today, and I'm delighted that Microsoft has been able to host, support this conference and participate in such an important discussion. Thank you.